Hey guys! I just hit the button earlier. Let me tweak the music a little bit. Hey! Good evening! I did not have time to prepare a video this week, so we're just gonna hang out and talk about whatever. Cool. So let's see who's here. Joe Kokoshio. First live. Well, this is very live. Notification squad, by the way, staying silent. Why would you stay silent? You're allowed to talk. I mean, that's basically the whole reason of this stream. So, why do I have such problems connecting quad to X lights? That's a good question. Could you elaborate on that, Spidey? David G, so some of us are lurking. Oh, yeah. Howdy, Quinn. You see that video I sent you earlier? I did. And actually, the Spidey guy who is having issues collecting a Dig-Quad to X-Lite should watch that video, because the integration, Scott from Head, his programming is awesome. So it'll become a lot easier to integrate X-Lights with WLED, and especially with the QuinLED boards being pre-programmed in there. So that will be awesome. Jeff Hammer, got my AllNet order, and my Dr. Z's order is 3 days away. Projects, and more projects. Well, yeah, I'd figure that. Okay, Spidey, I think you need to watch some more basic tutorials on X-Lights. I believe I actually have a written one from a few years back, but I'm sure there's some good videos around which will show you how to do these things. Good evening, MSX Droid. How are you? I am doing fine. I've just been really busy with work and some other stuff behind the scenes, and so no video, no project ideas for now, so we're just hanging out. Not enough background LEDs. Well, everything you see here is LEDs. Well, there's actually outside light. I generally only make videos and talk to you guys when it's dark. But this time it's not. So we might have to adjust the camera and the lighting a little bit later. Ronald Flo says, am I on the live? You are. Bart they say, hi there. And Johnny Bergdahl says, hello Quindor, the moderator is in the house. Please click the like button. Thanks. Donald Gover, HAHA. Yes, so HAHA is still coming. That project was slightly postponed because of some Chia content I wanted to do and stuff like that. I think that was also interesting server-related content. But the hardware I was going to use for HAHA was initially used for that, but that has now been released basically because I have other hardware doing the Chia stuff. So I'll pick up HAHA later. I think we'll be doing some more IP camera content soon. More LED stuff, of course. I think I still might want to do one Chia version video, not sure. But HAHA is still coming, but that's always been on a back burner project. I also still need to finish the DIY cloud backup, but I ran into a problem there with the hardware. For some reason, the server would just turn off sometimes. Don't really know why yet, so trying to figure that out too, but lots of projects coming. Got 2 Dig-Unos to set up myself this week. Cool, Joe. Pjal says, ordered a 50-meter roll of 16 AWG from Netherlands, but they sent me 18 AWG. But you ordered it here in the Netherlands, or because then you could just get it returned for free. I mean, that's the law. Ross says, hello all, first time watching. Cool. Hanging out's also nice. Nice. Hey. Jeffrey Happel, gonna start on one of my first LED and ESP32 projects. Will be fun. Hi from the Netherlands. Hey there. I'm in North Brabant, near Den Bosch. Who knows where you guys are. Yeah, I tried researching around, but quad X-Lights doesn't give much result yet, so I'm looking to be pointed in the right direction step by step in this. Oh, not step by step. Okay. So basically you just configure the outputs in WLED. So let's say you're using 3 of the outputs and you want to have 300 LEDs per output, you'll configure 900 LEDs in WLED and divide those over the LED ports. And then in X-Lights, you just treat it like it's one big string, or you chop it up the way you want to have it, basically. That's the best advice I can give you, really. When will we go back to the water cooling project? I was actually hoping no one's going to ask that. I've been just so busy with other projects that I can't really miss the PCs I was going to water cool. And with the first attempts not going that great, I kind of put that on the back burner. I have all the hardware now and the changed ways I want to do it. I just don't know when I'm going to do it yet. So maybe at some point, maybe I'll do it off stream, maybe on stream. I don't know. I haven't really decided about that yet. Thanks for all you do. What is the status of the Ethernet board? Well, I have an example over here. So this is a Dig-Quad with the new my ESP32 on there, and then a trial version of the Ethernet board, but production version is basically 100% the same. We hit a little production delay snag. Something went wrong during manufacturing, and we're currently trying to correct that. So although we wanted to get them out this week to next week, it'll probably take a week extra. So let's say about 2 weeks, and they should be available in the shops. We're trying to get there. Yeah, Tech Turtle has a good point. If you join the Dr. Z's Discord, there's indeed a lot of people using X-Lights there. I think even more than on my Discord, and they might be able to get you past that first hurdle. Johnny Bergdahl, my desk is empty and clean for the first time in several years. Took me a week to organize all the stuff and clean up. Hey, you know what my background looks like. If you take a look at like a video from 2 years ago, those shelves were empty. I really need to get it cleaned up, but like you're saying, that'll probably cause me to do only that for like a few weeks on end. So I really don't know when to do that. Hey, Stefan is here. Wave to Renee for me. Fine stream. Is she close? I guess she's at her family then. Stefan is a friend I know in real life. So, cool. Let's water cool an ESP32. But why? It only uses like 1 to 2 watts. So, it can't generate more heat than 1 to 2 watts. That's nothing to water cool. A slight breeze would like cool that. Is WLED easy to integrate in Home Assistant? Yes. There is actually a native WLED integration, and I know Frank is working on actually improving it even with new features, but officially don't know that. And yeah, you can just scan for it, or in a Home Assistant, say you have a WLED instance, enter the IP number, and it'll pop up, and you can control all the segments and channels and effects and stuff like that. Mahathir Mohammed. Okay, I need to lower this music a little bit. Sorry about that. I've been messing with that. Shouldn't mess with it. Yo, Quindor, would love to do LED project for my bedroom with the Dig-Uno and WLED. Can you guide me if I drop a PM? Love from Singapore. Well, I actually don't do personal support. That is what the Discord server, or actually, first off, that's what the guides on QuinLED.info are there for. There's dozens of guides and videos which will take you along to try and design and guide you in your project. And then if you can't figure it out from those resources, there's the Discord server where there's a lot of knowledgeable people there who actually spend a lot of time, of their own time, answering questions and helping other people along to do their LED projects. So soak up the knowledge first and then try to design a plan. Come to the Discord and we'll look at your plans and give you tips and tricks and help you out where you strand and stuff like that. So that's basically the order I'd advise. I don't really do personal setups or personal messages or something like that, because if I tried to help everyone myself, I would basically have to quit my day job, clone myself into 4 people, and then maybe I could answer all the messages I get. So yeah, let's keep that on the Discord server, but try and soak up that knowledge from the videos and the articles first. Make some kind of rough sketch or design. Do it in paper, do it in paint. Really doesn't matter. And do some calculations, and then let's talk about it on the Discord server. Patrick Reinhardt says, hello from Switzerland. Nice to catch you live for once. Well, it's my normal lifetimes, but cool you're here. Hey, if you can put $300 in accessories on a Raspberry Pi, might as well deck out the ESP32. I'm not sure what that's about, but yeah, I guess. It's a lot cheaper. $300 on a Raspberry Pi, damn. So, what did you think about the Shamsi thin Ethernet cables? I have not tried them yet. They look fine. I think I hooked up one of the U-Greens and it linked fine, and I used it for a few minutes and that was it. I haven't done any further testing, but yeah. David G says, when I move into my new house later this year, I'm going to be building the ultimate 2U server. Cool. Why 2U though? Because if you have your own house, you probably have enough space. And well, 2U isn't too bad, but it really depends on kind of hardware you want to use and what the purpose of the server is. For instance, if it's storage, a 3U or a weird noises, a 4U would probably be much better for future expansion. But it all depends what you're going to do with it. How about those virtual LED guys I see on the WLED Discord? You mean the viral LED guys? Yeah, I couldn't help myself, and I left another comment on one of their videos. In short, for the people who don't know, the viral LED guys, they're famous on TikTok with really cringy videos, if you ask me, but it's probably what the youth watches. So hey, he keeps making videos. Put LEDs put LEDs in my girlfriend's bedroom, and then he shows he's soldering wires to a Dig-Uno and coding. In the end, he's just plugging DuPont wires into a D1 Mini, and then the coding isn't real at all because he's just installing WLED, and now they're actually hiding what they're doing by putting it in a box, and then they're charging you 3 times as much as it would buy to buy those components yourself. So I get fired up by that kind of practices. That's no business. I mean, I know my controllers aren't cheap either, but at least you're getting value for money. At least I think so. It's definitely more than a D1 Mini ESP8266 stuffed in a box so you can't see what they did. I mean, they're limiting the LEDs to 500 milliamps, and they're saying in their terms of usage that if you touch the power limiter, you're voiding warranty. Yeah, because the D1 Mini will burn out completely because it isn't meant to handle the power for LEDs. So if you want 300 LEDs at 500 milliamps, I guess that works, but it's going to look really shitty. I mean, okay, don't get me started. Yes, Rage. Stefan knows me. I know. Oh man. Okay. I posted a picture of my shelves on Discord just to tease you. Oh, let me check. Do I have Discord? Yeah. Where did you put it? Oh, wow. Holy shit! Can I share this? I guess I could share this. Is it okay to share that? I guess so. I would think so. Let me zoom it out. Wow, that's more organized than I'm ever going to be. But where? Oh, I was going to say, where are the labels? Hold on. Yeah, Discord is public. Okay, good. Let me see how I do this. Sorry, I have to click a little bit. This one. Ha! There we go. So this is the picture Johnny just posted of his organizing. And I was going to say, where are the labels? But the labels are right there. There's all kinds of labels on there. Damn. What does it say? Raspberry Pi, fotostativ, audio, kabelhantering. I think you're German, right? Oculus Quest 2, that's nice. Let's see what more labels we can read. P1006, P1001. Is this some kind of organization system you have? P1004. Wow, okay. You're way more organized than I am. I thought I was doing a decent job, but... Wow, okay. Cool. Yeah, that's neat. I can imagine you spent at least a week sorting that out. That's awesome. Oh, Swedish. Okay, yeah, that's why I couldn't read it in German. I have the content in Part Keeper. I have to look into that. What is that? Have you checked the new unofficial Chia plotter? I have looked into it, and I have a friend who's using it right now. For me, my storage is basically full, so I don't have a use for it right now. In about a day or so, I'm going to stop plotting altogether. But I will give it some tests, because if it's significantly faster or can save on the LED, or even that you don't have to stagger so that when something goes wrong, you don't lose like 12 plots that are in progress, it'll be very interesting for when pooling or portable plots are released. So then, because we probably are all going to replot to those, it'll be useful to use it then. So I haven't run it yet, but I will probably, when I have a bit of time, tinker around with it, so I'm ready once I can start replotting to portable plots, basically. It is spelled CDO, you know, alphabetical order, yeah. Teacher Gone Tech. Hey Quinder, if you open up the window, I can almost hear you talk live. Greetings from Berlicum. Berlicum is pretty close. Soldering an ESP for the Atuline WLED fork with microphone support as we speak. I get some questions about that, and I don't actually have a Dig-Uno here. Well, I have an old one here. I guess it doesn't really matter. The old one has the pins too. So if you look at a Dig-Uno, there is these. Let me. Yeah, that should work. Let me go here. Oh, it's not very bright, but there's these header pins over here and over here, and those, since the start of the boards, have had Q1 to Q4 pins. And from version 2, revision 6, the analog audio pin was also broken out. So if you're using an analog microphone, that's a single pin, you can use it from version 2, revision 6, or revision 6B, the one that sold the longest. You can just plug it in there because there's a pin header for it. And if you want to use a digital microphone, you're going to need 3 GPIO pins. But those are all broken out on all the boards. So with a Dig-Uno, you can pretty easily use a digital microphone. You just have to spread the GPIOs over those Q pins, and then, have the microphone running externally wherever you want it. Let's see here. I love that the boxes aren't all plastic. Yeah, mine are like, I have my IKEA Tinker system. So this is my paste and flux box. And then, let's see what I have here. Oh yeah, I have 2106 SMD LEDs. And I have like hundreds of these boxes. I have like mini OLED, I can't orient, mini OLED screens. So I have like lots and lots of those boxes. And it works well for small parts and stuff like that. So, Can you have 2 Dig-Unos on a separate power supplies and then turn on and off switch to the same effects in WLED wirelessly? Yes, so if you have multiple strips and multiple WLED controllers, you can use their UDP sync feature basically. And then whatever you plug into the one Dig-Uno will also be mirrored or executed on the second Dig-Uno. So that is certainly Yeah, yeah, basically, yes. I just tinker around a little bit with the send and receive sync settings, and then you can sync multiple controllers, basically. Oh, IKEA stopped selling the boxes I used before, so I had to spend several days finding anyone selling cardboard boxes I use. I refuse to use plastic boxes. Oh, okay. Stephen Menace. Still, if you need more disk space, I'm willing to trade you for plots. We'll look into that. That's okay. Also, the box organizing part has been going on for months. The last week was just what I had on my desk. Oh God, I bet your shelves look like mine. I mean, you just throw it on there, and then you're like, I'll organize it later. Yeah, but later it never comes. More Jello, please. I can't help you there. Hey, my fellow Dahwa friend, what internet access point are you running these days? I am still running 5 MikroTik WAP ACs. So they're a bit older now, but they're still AC 3x3. And I have about 60 devices online at one time, 50 to 60. And they're working great for me in a Capsman setup. A few Ubiquiti APs, and after a firmware update, they are slow now, and devices keep disconnecting. Oh, maybe see if you can go back, or see if other people have the same problem? I don't know. Teacher Gone Tech. That would be the first step indeed. Okay, cool. You're designing a new casing to print for your Dig-Unos. So, that'd be a stupid question. I was going to say, who ordered one of the new boards and got them already? Oh, I guess that's a good question, because not everyone will have gotten them already. Who ordered some of the new boards and has gotten them already? Tech Turtle, Quinder, have you ever thought about making your own pixel string, order chips, LEDs, epoxy, or strips? Yeah, but it's not that easy because the current LEDs are only the price they are because of volume. So they easily become 2, maybe 3 times as expensive as they are now. I know one guy is doing it, but yeah, that's hard. We are going to look into maybe branding some products or buying some products in bulk and then labeling it or something like that. But in the end, I would like to start offering more through the shop than just the controller. So like decent power supplies, good LEDs and stuff like that. It won't be a huge assortment like you could get on Aliexpress, but I'd really like to become like a one-stop shop and include Dr. Z's in that and give him access to those products too, so that you can just go to one shop, order the controller, the LEDs, the wiring, and the power supply, and then, you know, the shipping charge you get will also hurt a lot less, because then it's just not just the controller. And yeah, there's future plans for that. We're working on that, but I'm working on so much stuff. I don't know what'll come out first, but yeah, I'm not really looking to produce my own LEDs. I know one guy that did. I'm talking to another guy who's working on some stuff. For instance, I asked him, hey, we don't have any CRI 90 or 95 RGB WLEDs, for instance, and well, a lot of people would really like to use those. So he's looking into maybe designing custom LEDs for that. But you're not going to make 1,000. You're not going to make 10,000. You have to make like 100,000 or 1 million of those before that's maybe even close to viable. So, that's a difficult project. Oh, MSX Droid has the Wi-Fi 6 APs from Ubiquiti. No issues here. They're still fast. Cool. Kel says, well, I got mine from the trial, so have had the quad for a while now. Are you using it? How's it working for you? Oh, Stefan had the same problem with Ubiquiti, downgraded firmware, working fine now. I guess that's worth a try. Perfect answer. Check Tweakers forum. Okay, problem discussed there. Oh, okay. So it is a more widespread problem, basically. Carlos Schriever says, I did order a new Dig-Uno, but the package didn't arrive my address, so it's stuck at PostNL. Ordered in March. I actually was talking about my partner from Allnet in China about this earlier today. We've had 2 or 3 cases now where something has gone wrong or odd with the shipping, and it says the address isn't valid while it isn't. So we're looking into that, and we'll get that resolved soon, hopefully. And whatever the case, we're going to get you the boards. Don't worry about that. Tech Turtle, I want to get some RGB floods as well. Yeah, that'd be cool. Pial says only used it for testing so far, but yeah, it works great. Oh, well, I added the great, but it works. Nicholas Rutledge, are there LED strips that are 12 volt with a dedicated white channel and RGB like SK6812? Yes, there are. Let me quickly go to here, and wait. Let me fix something first. Right. So if you look on QuinLED.info, and we go to digitally addressable LEDs. There are lots of information articles there, and one is the addressable LED strip buying guide. And there I go into some information, like if you want 30, 60, 96, or 144 LEDs per meter, what kind of water protection you want to use. And then I kind of divide it in categories. So 5 volt is most suited for doing shorter runs and stuff like that. And then 12 volt for medium to high density. And then there's WS2811, which is per 3 addressable, but it has some advantages in regards to efficiency and power usage over the WS2815s. But then there is the digitally addressable SK6812. And I added a link here, special 12 volt SK6812. And there's 2 sellers are linked. But yes, so you can get SK6812 in 12 volt, and that will be per 3 addressable. But I have added them in my power calculation sheet, and they do pretty good on power consumption. And that'll give you RGBW addressable LEDs per 3 addressable, but still. Yeah. So hopefully that answers Nicholas Rutledge's question. Ross Castona, have you thought about entering into the larger LED controller market, Culp or Falcon? I've thought about it and I've pondered about it, but I'm not sure about that yet. Because I like doing ESP32 right now, and I like doing WLED, and the ESP32 basically has a maximum performance it can scale at. So if a Dig-Quad, we're already approaching that, so the maximum amount of LEDs you can drive if you fill up all the channels. Now, I know most people won't run like 600 or 700 LEDs on each of the 4 or now 5 channels. So I might design a controller with more channels in the future, but I'm not sure you still want to connect more LEDs to a single controller after that, or because even if you have multiple channels, because well, the ESP32 just has its limits, and I like using WLED. So if I'd switch from chip or use something else completely, well, it wouldn't be able to run WLED either. And I also don't like designing solutions which already has a good solution. So my boards are quite different from Falcon and Culp boards in regards to features and pricing and the way they work, etc. But if I design something similar, and I'm not saying I'll never do that, but if there's a good solution out there already, I'd earlier look at something, to making something unique, than redoing something that already works well, if that makes sense, basically. So yeah, maybe in the future, if for instance Espressif comes out with a chip that's 4 times as fast, and AirCookie says, oh, we're going to support that in the future, then I'll probably look into making a bigger board than we have currently. Or maybe if there's some use cases that say, look, I just need to have 8 ports and I'll have like 100 to 200 LEDs on those 8 ports, not like 600 on 8 ports. Sure, I might look into that too. But yeah, it's hard to figure out what will be good products, and I can keep them the prices they are right now because, again, there's mass scaling behind it. So we're making them by the 1,000, and the costs for making 1,000 per board are very different than making 100, for instance. Because then a lot more costs would land per board on the manufacturing. So they'd easily be like $10 more expensive per board. And so kind of have to balance there what need there is for products and stuff like that. Because the Dig-Uno still outsells the Dig-Quad by a lot of margin. So I don't know. I have some future products planned, and I hope to be able to share more about that in the next coming months, because I'm certainly not sitting still. But yeah, it's hard to know where to go and what is needed and wanted, and kind of have to follow the mass desire. Like, a lot of people have asked me, when will there be a Dig-Uno with integrated microphone, for instance? And I'm thinking, well, maybe never, because as I mentioned earlier, you can already hook up an analog or digital microphone pretty easily to the current boards. But if I'd integrate the feature, I'd have to charge everyone for including that feature. That's basically why I also took off the temperature sensor on the Dig-Uno. It's still on the Dig-Quad for the pre-assembled versions, because I was having to charge everyone for the temperature sensor while maybe 5% of you guys were using it. So I'd rather then not have it on the board and, well, in this case, be able to give you an ESP32 for almost the same price, if that makes sense. Because a lot more people are going to use that, especially now with WLED and its dual output for the Dig-Uno and stuff like that. So it's hard making decisions and figuring out what is desired, basically. So hope that makes sense. Okay, let's see here. I went on a bit on a ramble there. Whoa, what the hell happened? Donald Gover, what are you doing? $20, no message. Type a message. You can type a message. Oh, and Frank is here. Hey, Frank. $20 without a message? You're entitled to a message. We're just hanging out. Come on. What do you want to know? Shoot. Shoot your message. Damn. Yeah, Pio, we tried to make, well, as I mentioned before, we've tried to optimize costs where we could. And I think the Dig-Quad with 4 output channels and all the fuses and the power handling and stuff like that, with the Ethernet, yeah, it's approaching $50. But if you look at competing solutions, I would ask you to find me anything under $100. So, I think we're doing good there. Brian Airless says, after owning both a Dig-Quad and a Dig-Quad and a Dig-Uno, I recommend the Dig-Quad. It's a lot more useful. Yeah, that's basically why I designed it. If you're doing larger products than maybe 1 or 2 strips, the Dig-Quad makes a lot of sense with all the power injection and the multiple channels and stuff like that. So, yeah. If you're adding things, we should have an integrated clock mode. What does that mean? Tell me what that means. Could you make an 8-port one and have expansion add-on to give you more like expansion for the Falcon, like the Falcon? I've looked into that too. I'm not saying no for forever or no, that will never happen, but currently I don't see the need. Because then I'd say just get a second controller, because again, the processor is limited in what it can do anyway. So, yeah. Donald Gover, the guy from the $20, thanks so much, says, thanks for all Thanks for all you are doing for the community. I'm also enjoying the server content too. Nice, that's good to hear. Because I know the Chia content maybe caught a few people off guard, but I really don't like to talk about the crypto itself. If you believe in crypto and things like that, that's up to you. But I really like the technical aspect, technical side of it, and how to optimize the server and how you're good building stuff, and all the hardware things and software things involved. So I really dove into that. I had a great time with that because I, I needed a little bit of break of being non-stop LEDs for 6 months. And so I thought I'd bring you guys along. And I hope some people learned some stuff. Not so much about the crypto, but maybe everything involved with the server and stuff like that, and designing hardware and things like that. Let's see here. Saw Dig-Quad 4 times fast. Lol, okay. Clock mode was an inside joke for the Discord tech tip of, is your Dig-Uno in clock mode? Maybe that is the issue. I still don't have any clue what's up with that. For the last week, we've had a few people come in and saying like, hey, my first 60 LEDs are doing something weird. And actually, Draadstal, I believe, he had the right tip, like check if clock mode is enabled in WLED. And I was like, clock mode? I've never heard of clock mode even. And fair enough, in most cases it was. And that solved the issue. So, no idea what's going on there. But yeah. Piotr Kroll says, first timer here, what is your experience with waterproof LED strip? I'm looking for longevity. How many years will they last? It kind of depends what we're talking about. If we're talking about IP65, so the coating on top, or IP67 or 68, but then it's basically in a silicone sleeve. If you're really going to put it out in all weathers without anything above it, basically like a roof or roof line or something like that, I'd go IP67, 68. But if it's like on a roof line and it won't see any direct weather, and especially if it's in an aluminium profile, then the IP65 should last for a decent amount of time. I know Rob from the Hookup and I believe Dr. Z's are all using the IP65 LED strips outside. I believe Rob from the Hookup actually did a video about it, like my LED strips after 2 years, and they were holding up just fine, I believe. So, yeah. Go check out Rob's video. He did a really good video about his strips outside, what he'd do differently now, the coating he used, and the injection wires and stuff like that. Guido Menon says, yeah, try to buy a plus terabyte HDD now. Yeah, that's going to be a hard time. I think supply will recover in 1 to 2 months, maybe 3 months. The suppliers need a little bit of time to react to that. But I believe they can scale up capacity that they're producing. And then the amount of people buying hard disks for Chia will also go down. So those will meet in the middle. And then prices will start returning to a more realistic level. I don't think they'll go back to the level they were, not until next year maybe, but they'll come down for sure. MSX Droid says, the technical side was really nice. Like to see others to build a storage server. I'm building them themselves also. Oh, you're building them yourself also? Cool. Sorry, just reading chat here. Hey, Brian Loff is here. Oh god, now I have to say his last name. Brian Loff? Sorry, is that the right... Brian, sorry. You're allowed to butcher my name too, that's okay. So let's see if I missed any questions. Tech Turtle asks, you got any 24 volt LEDs with the WS2811 protocol? Yes, 12 volt, 24 volt will be per 6 addressable, but it was in a QuinBox, I think, a while back, but I'm trying to do a video about 24 volt addressable LEDs in the future, and they are per 6 addressable, but then they were double spaced basically. So there were 2 rows instead of 1 row of LEDs. So you still had sections of 3 wide, but then 2 high, and that was one addressable section. But those worked fine with the new controllers. Don't try them with the old. Brian Locke. Okay. I'll try and remember that. You missed my question, Johnny. Let me scroll back. Oh, Johnny asks, do I need an ESP32 for the Dig-Uno? I'm hooking up 2 strips, one warmer and one cold. I want to control the temperature from HA. So you're hooking up SK6812 then? So RGBW. Officially, you can do it with an ESP8266, but it really depends on how many LEDs you're going to run. And because the ESP8266 just doesn't have that much horsepower, so it'll run out of memory and CPU power basically pretty quickly. So if you're like running 2 times 150 LEDs, that will probably be fine. But if you're running more than that, you'd probably have to go to an ESP32. No regular white LED strips. But oh, you just want a PWM. But yeah, but the QuinLED-Dig-Uno is a digital LED board. It's not an analog LED board. Or did I misread your question? No, you mentioned Dig-Uno. So a Dig-Uno will not run analog LED strip unless, as you just said, you hook up a MOSFET. But then you should look at a QuinLED-Quad without the dig in the name, or a QuinLED-Deca, because those boards have been specifically designed to run analog LEDs. Now you could add a MOSFET on a Dig-Uno, I guess, on the output, but then you'd still have the wrong voltages. But yeah, I guess you could input the right voltage. Yeah, I guess you could do that if you add MOSFETs. But then I would certainly upgrade to an ESP32. Because that's why all my analog boards, except the OG, are ESP32s. Because the ESP8266 can only do PWM at 1 kilohertz, so 1000 hertz. And the ESP32 can easily do a lot more, like 120,000 kilohertz if you want to. And I'd certainly try to run it at 10 or 20,000 or 10 or 20 kilohertz basically. I believe WLED is set to 19,600 something by default. And that would be a good value to run them at, unless you have special considerations like I have in my studio, for instance. Because as you can see in the background, all the LEDs keep changing color very slowly, but you're never going to see a flicker like you see on a lot of other YouTube channels, because I'm running all my LED strips at 120 kilohertz, so 120,000 hertz. But that's because I want to have them on video, and I don't want any flicker, but I do want to be able to dim them, and, you know. What? Frank, what have you done? CT controls are removed from Home Assistant for WLED in 2021.7. What? Ah! They were not real, they were fake. WLED doesn't do CT or color temperature. Instead, Home Assistant 2021.7 will natively support the color modes for WLED, including native RGBW support. So, it'll be even better. Excellent. Thanks, Frank. just want a PWM the right white color. Well, I know it works in ESP Home. I guess you could run that on the board instead of WLED. But then, well, yeah, for single colors, I'd actually run ESP Home instead of WLED. Because I was going to say you're going to miss out on some effects, but there's not much effects you can do with analog LEDs. Basically, what I'm doing right now is what you can do with analog LEDs. Oh yeah, Johnny, yeah. Frank is biased. Then I'm biased too, because my whole home runs on ESP Home. All the lights you see here, except that one, the wall with the addressable LEDs, everything is running ESP Home. Here, let me show you. Let's see here, Chrome. There we go. So this is my garage lights, and let's turn them off. See? And I can even turn these off. But then it gets really dark. So let me turn these back on. No, not the... I don't want that one. I don't want that one. So yeah, the garage rack, they're all running analog QuinLED boards with ESP Home. And for instance, I have these RGB ones. And I've separated their RGB CCT strips, analog versions. And I've separated out the CCT control and the RGB control. I believe that's now fixed. In the past, it caused some issues otherwise. But yeah, I can say, okay, make it warm white, or make it cold white. And yeah, generally I have them set like somewhere over here. Or I can just turn those off and make it RGB. And then for the RGB, I have some effects programmed. And I have an effect called Totally Loco. Let's see what that does. Well, that basically, as you can see from the pointer here, that basically does random effects really fast and doesn't allow for transitions really. I have a very insane random effect, and that also takes random colors but then skips around a bit slower. But those are all programmed in ESP Home, so you can still do that if you want a disco. Okay, let me go back to my very slow, because then they neatly change color on the background without you really noticing. Slow. And then I think I messed up my lights, because it's not bright enough on my face anymore. Let's give it a bit more. There we go. Yeah, so all my video lighting is done using Home Assistant. Who knew? Well, some of you might have known. But Home Assistant with analog QuinLED boards, so quads and decas, and ESP Home. For sure, all the way. Let's see what everyone's saying, sorry. More yellow? What? Yeah, I really like that Home Assistant took over ESP Home, because I noticed some of the development slowing down and Auto Winter not having the time the project grew into, basically. That the project needed that because of how it grew. So I think it really found a good home, and I've been seeing steady releases and feature upgrades and stuff like that. So that's really cool. 0 in home is on ESP Home. Andy, how can you do that? What are your lights running on? All my lights in my house run on ESP Home. Could he not use DMX out of the Uno with a dimmer pack? Well, I don't have any DMX signaling implemented in the Dig-Uno or the Dig-Quad. But maybe there's a way, I don't know. Edward Belshaw, I ordered a V3 Uno, going to use it to control lights around the bed I'm building. It is easy to add a couple of physical buttons. Oh, is it easy to add a couple of physical buttons to turn the lights on or off when in bed? Yes, you can use some of the GPIO pins, and there's actually a pin called button on the board. let me go back here. If you look in the Dig-Uno pinout guide, there is actually a pin called button, which is linked to GPIO 0, which is the default pin in WLED linked to the button functionality. Nowadays you can set the button to whatever you want, but that pin is still there, so I suggest using that one. That is already pulled high on the board with a resistor, and if you take a switch, you link one side to the button pin, which is pulled high, so that gives you 3.3 volt, and then the other side you link to ground. Whenever that button is pressed and it's linked to ground, it'll flip the power switch in WLED and turn it off. Or run everything through Home Assistant. That's what I generally do, but you can go anyway. WLED. WLED. Come on. I like ESP Home too. I mean, hey. Oh, Frank says, don't forget to tune in on Wednesday for the ESP Home announcement live streams. Some really nice new stuff is upcoming. I saw some of the release notes come by and it looked awesome. Exciting, Frank, on the HA channel. Where is it, Frank? Frank says, I don't know. Probably, though. Okay. Merlin Shaw, hello. Hey there. This is live. Yeah. Only one button though, as Andy says. WLED does not support multiple buttons on the box. A user mod could add support for that, but nobody has done yet so far. Yeah, I've heard talks about it, and it'll probably come in some version so that you can maybe, like if you have one other thing you could do, you could link an infrared receiver to one of the GPIO pins, and then make sure with a little cable that receiver is visible, and then you can buy one of those really dirt cheap. Do I have one here? Okay, I don't know where I have one, but you can buy some of those really cheap infrared LED controller remotes, and those will then work in WLED. Now you'll have to find out which button is mapped to what, but you can for sure change the effect up or down, so through the list, change the effect speed, change the intensity, turn it on or off, and even program some presets, I think, to the buttons. So that might be an option too, because then you can just use the infrared remote. So it does need line of sight, but yeah, that might be a good option. I mean, a receiver diode's like 10 cents, and one of those remotes is like $1, maybe $2, and then you'll need a bit of wiring to make sure it's in a place where you can see it, but yeah, that's it. Merlin Shaw, on the new Dig-Uno, is the EXT 5V or 5V EXT for powering the ESP32 only fused as well? No, it's not. My studio's falling apart. I guess I should have cleaned this up before starting the stream, but as I didn't have time to make videos, I also didn't have time to do that. Seems to be hanging on for dear life, so let's just pretend that didn't happen. No, the 5V EXT input isn't fused, but there are diodes on there preventing reverse polarity and stuff like that. And it's basically going directly into a buck converter, which will not work in reverse polarity mode and protect itself. And well, the buck converter also already does power limiting, so I didn't see the need for a fuse on the pre-assembled version. On the newer DIY versions, that will probably still work with PTCs and stuff like that, because the circuit has to be different, because I can't integrate what I did on the pre-assembled version, basically. Whoa! Larry Waldman! Hey! Quinder, thank you again for everything. And if you run out of topics, would love to see how you put AWG 16 ferrules in the Dig-Quad. Well, there's actually a trick for that. I don't have any AWG 16 lying around, I think. Do you want to try it? Hey, he donated like 20 bucks. Let's try it. Let's try it. Oh, let me get some AWG 16 wire. Hold on. Yep. Found it. Okay. Because I was actually talking to my Chinese partner this week about this exact problem that I would like to relook, because we looked before for different screw terminals that would allow for a bit better fitment of larger gauge wires. Because let's see if this is focused. It's a bit zoomed in. Because currently, if you look at the terminals, they have this little rounding on the bottom, and these are well certified terminals. That's where we're using them. These are certified for the currents we're running through them. But I have been looking at different terminals, so just pretend you don't see these boards because they're prototypes. If you look at these terminals, they have a very different opening than this one has, because this has the thing on the bottom, and this one is a lot more square, and this one also has more room to basically insert a cable. So I am aware of the issue that sometimes the cables can be hard to add to the board. There's nothing I can do about that for now, because if we switch cables, we'll have to do a lot of validation testing and stuff like that to make sure they'll handle the current and get the right kind of connection, and that we don't get terminals with iron legs instead of copper legs and stuff like that. So the first thing I'd advise is for me to focus. Hold on. Let me change the setting real quick. Need to find the right button. There we go. Okay. That should be visible. Okay. So the first thing I always would advise is to... Sorry, it's not in focus. I tried to focus. Let me focus on this. There we go. So the first thing I would advise is to always use wire ferrules, because otherwise that's never going to happen at all. So let me get my ferrule kit. Proof you can get personal support from QuinDor. What? Did somebody say they couldn't? Well, personal support, we're still, I mean, I help a lot of people out in the Discord server. I don't help them out in private, and that's basically the same thing I'm doing now. I'd rather answer a question in public so that then however many people are watching, because I actually don't know, can share in the knowledge, so I don't have to explain it 50 times basically. So let's get a ferrule on there. And let's crimp that on. And these tools, the exact ones I'm using, are linked on the tools and equipment page on QuinLED-Info if you're looking for them. I know, Johnny, I know. So, and this is a trial board, but the production boards are the same. And we're basically going to try and get it into this terminal. So let me open that up. Right, that's the maximum they'll open. And now I know it's going to basically be impossible to squeeze this in here, and that's basically because this has now become mostly round, and because of the curvature here, that's going to be a really hard deal. So what I mostly do is I get a pair of pliers like these, for instance, don't really matter. You just need a flat surface, and then I just put them in between and I flatten them out. And now you'll see that they better adhere to the form of the terminal itself, basically. So let's see if we can get them in now. Yeah, that's one. It's still hard, but it's possible. Oh, it's warm here, so I have sweaty hands, so you have to forgive me for that. Okay, let's try the other one. Can't put any pressure on it. It's a hit or a miss, I'd call it. I know I'm wiring both up to ground. I'm just, showing how it's done. Okay, I'll take this one out. Okay, fine. So, okay. Oh, that was easier. So that one into positive. And then, nope, this one doesn't want to go. I guess I could try and squish it again. Nope. Yeah, so I'm aware of this issue, basically. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't with these terminals. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it takes a little bit of time to wiggle them in. So this is, and I'll prove it. It's right there. This is 16 AWG. I generally use 18 AWG myself, and that's a bit easier to get in. So it is possible if you squish the terminal, basically, but I am aware this isn't ideal, basically. And as I said, we have been looking at different terminals and we have been testing them, but we need to make sure that they basically adhere to all the current specifications and stuff like that we need them to do. So, for instance, in this one, yeah, a lot easier to get in, right? So we like that a lot better. And this one, even this one, works without much of a problem to get AWG 16 in there. So I am looking at different terminals. One of the things we might need to sacrifice is the color for the terminals. And that will be a difficult trade-off, because I think the different colors for the terminals, so red for positive, black for negative, green for 5V EXT, and then blue for the data wires, it's very easy to explain to new people, basically. And if we go for these would probably only be available in green, so then all of them would be green. You'd be able to get your wires in easier, and for people in the know, probably wouldn't be an issue. But if I'm screwing these in like in the dark late at night, it's very easy to see a red or a black terminal, basically. So we're trying to find easier to use terminals with color, and that is basically where the challenge is, because we can find easier terminals as I showed you, but they won't have color. And well, that's a big trade-off in my opinion. So hope that makes sense. And hopefully this answered your question for the donation, because Ross Costona, yes, thanks for what you do. I think I'll turn on the Dig-Quads tonight, sit back, pop a few Barty pops, and enjoy WLED X lights and LED effects. Yeah, LED effects is great too. Awesome. Thank you very much, Ross, and enjoy the boards. And, well, as I said, if you have any questions and they aren't obvious in the articles or videos I've written, come join on the Discord server. I believe you're there. And we'll try and help you out. Let's see what I missed while I was trying to squeeze that wire in there. David Pellon says, hey man, relatively new to the channel after looking for server build stuff. Your series helped me affirm my ambitions and got the Intertech 4U chassis with space for 2 quad 80mm rads from AlphaCool. Nice! That's one hefty server if you're going water cooling in it. Nice topic, AW16 into a terminal. Proof that it works. Well, I'd say it works. It can certainly be done, but as I said, I realize it's tight. So yeah, won my first Chia block, 1 month, 170 terabyte. Nice, Joseph. That's awesome. Okay. Yeah, fitting the wire is not that easy. Yeah, we talked about that. If you find flattening the ferrule, it's square after crimping. It fits a lot easier. Yep. Well, that's the trick I showed. The flat ones are hard if you use small cable, but who wants to use those anyway? Well, since I advise most people to use ferrules anyway, I don't think that'll be an issue, because if you have a ferrule on the small cable, I think generally that will be fine, even with those other terminals. Yeah, flatten with pliers. Rising cage clamps. Nice. Oh yeah, Larry cheated because he used a cherry picker instead of running down a ladder 50 times. So bleeding fingers minor issue. Ah, come on, man. Hey, I think it's smart to rent a cherry picker. I mean, it saves a lot of work. Indeed, but I'm not dead. There you go, Larry. I'm so happy it isn't working easily for. Oh, I'm so happy it isn't working easily for him. If it did, I would throw my Dig-Quad across the room. No, don't do that. This is me every time. Yeah. But I actually talked about my guy about that today, and as I showed, we already have some other stuff in for testing. So. It might be a future batch, etc., where we change it, but we still need to do testing first. So I usually put in a small screwdriver to pry the tap open. Well, sure, that can help, but I found that even on these, that really doesn't do too much. Quinder, the DC connector wired in the store. What AWG is that? DC connector wired? You mean the 2-wire to barrel plug? I believe that's 16, but it's very short, so it shouldn't matter that much. Thanks, Quinder. I'm glad it looks like I'm doing it as well as you. Thank you again. Sure. My God, make those new screw terminals happen. Yeah, we'll try. Oh, we'll try. Show some of your tools. Love to see what your favorite soldering iron is or what you use to fix PCB. That's going to be a bit difficult. So, not going to go there right now. Yeah, I do agree the colors are nice. Yeah. Oh, and then we have... Sorry, I'm catching up. Could you sticker them or something? Well, it's already on the PCB. I mean, there's silkscreen on the PCB describing what everything is. It's just that people don't like reading or paying attention, basically. So if I can color code them, well, that just saves a lot of people a lot of hassle. Yeah, color might be a thing. They mostly come in green Phoenix. Yeah, that's exactly the issue. And I mean, I've been looking at these terminals too, and I actually did some prototypes with that, like the one on the garage wall is that. So you have these disconnectable connectors. But in testing, these basically failed because they cannot handle the same amount of amps, at least half, or not even half or less than that, before heating up too much that I don't want to use them. So that's why I decided to go with screw terminals instead of these. And that's the same thing we need to test for other screw terminals. How do they react to the heat? So how much resistance do they generate, even if it's a copper leg and stuff like that? And then how many amps can we run through them? So for the current ones, I know this because I tested it, but that's what makes changing them slightly harder than you'd expect. Oh, Killer Geek, hey again. TE has colored push terminals. Okay, sure, I'll look at those. Cost is also a thing, of course, but sure. Mortal Mulder, help me reach out to someone who knows about longer range Zigbee routers. Ooh. Beefier than those IKEA repeaters. I have done 0 with Zigbee, so I am not your man. Jeffrey Huppel says, could I drive 114 LEDs from an ESP8266? I'm confused. Yes, that should be no problem. 300 to 500. Let me look it up. There is an article on the WLED GitHub. Let me give you my Chrome here. So I did an article. What is the max amount of addressable LEDs per controller? And basically I go through the math of how many LEDs you can run per output. But this is assuming unlimited controller power, basically. So if you have 600 on a channel, you'll be able to run 55 frames per second. That's without overhead. That's just what the protocol, so WS28-1X is capable of. And if you'd run 1,000, you'd only be able to do 33 FPS, for instance. Now, if we're talking WLED, it generally runs at 42 FPS. And then you'd be able to do close to 800. I always say don't exceed 600 to 700 per data output if you don't have to. But I believe there is a wiki page. There we go. And that one specifies what you can do on an ESP8266 or on an ESP32. And here it says the ESP8266 can calculate about 15,000 LEDs per second. That means 250 LEDs at 60 frames per second or 500 at 30 frames per second. So I'd say with an ESP8266, don't go too much above 300 LEDs. And then you'll be fine frame rate wise and stuff like that. Now the ESP32 is a whole different beast because it can do 1,000 LEDs at 70 frames per second basically. So it can do a whole lot more. Okay? Hope that makes sense. And if you're looking for the article, my article, if you look in the addressable or the digitally addressable LED section, you scroll down, you have the information articles, and then there I have, for instance, maximum data wire length, or what is the max amount of addressable LEDs per controller is this article, where I go into the technical side of that, and then I give some recommendation, and basically what I just said, I recommend running 500 to 600 LEDs per channel. But that's with an ESP32. With an ESP8266, as I said, that'll be different, and maybe try to stick it to around 300 or so. Hope that makes sense. Reading chat again. Oh no, chat jumped. Garage collapsing! This is the end. No, I think we're fine. We're okay. Let me go to the face cam. Some more Zigbee talk. Arthur Henrique says, thank you, I received here in Brazil. Dig-Uno, Dig-Quad, new version, and QuinLED ESP32. Excellent. Awesome. We always love to see what kind of projects you guys have done and how they turned out on the Discord server. There is a showroom channel on there, but you can also do it in general LED talk and stuff like that. And we love to see results and, or as I said, questions and stuff like that. So if you have any finished projects using the boards and stuff like that, make sure to show them off because we just love to see it. There might be something in the works in the background. Philip and Andy know what I'm talking about. It's not quite done yet, but we might be looking into doing more than just the Discord server. So another place where we can do, we'll have talks and stuff like that about LEDs and other subjects related to the channel. But not too much I can share about that yet. Tech Turtle says, have you looked at the black terminals? I sent you a PM on Discord of what I've been using on other boards. I'll take a look at that after the stream. But yeah, I've been looking at lots of different terminals, but there's basically a lot of specifications they need to adhere to, and we also need to be able to get them in decent enough quantity and for the right price and stuff like that. So yeah. Slack! IRC! No, no, no. Will this new place have a bar? No. Well, I don't know. We could make a lounge part. But no, not Slack or IRC. Come on. We already have Discord for that. And I really like the Discord server. We actually, I guess this is our celebration stream. Let me check how many people are here in the Discord. 5,256 users. That's a milestone if there ever was one. So, awesome for the people who are there. Excellent. And generally it's a really nice place to hang out and chat, and I think we've helped a lot of people with questions and stuff like that. And we've seen a lot of awesome LED projects and planning, and yeah, it's generally great to hang out. Oh no, Frank, you guessed it. It's going to be an ICQ group. Did ICQ even have groups? Uh-oh. Blackjack and humans. No, we're not building quarks. Sorry. Why multiple places? Because the format would be different, basically. Discord is a chat, and to see what someone did a week or a month or maybe a year ago even, if they posted really good information, people reading a year later are often never going to find it or search for it. And if there would be a place next to my website where I keep all my information and articles, where other people could describe their builds, and it would be easier to find and scroll through them, I think that would be a valuable addition on top of the Discord server, basically. So something where it's easier to see historical stuff than real-time stuff. It's basically a forum, okay? Yes, Marcel guessed it. We're basically looking into making a forum. But it's in very early stages, and I'm not even sure we're going to go through with it yet. But Philip and Andy have been putting in a lot of work into it, and I need to make some time to get it set up right, and then we'll evaluate if we're going to do that. But yeah, searching is crap on Discord. Well, yeah, if you want historical information more than a few months old, it sucks. So Discord isn't meant for that, and it's great for real-time communication with people and troubleshooting and talking and showing off stuff and things like that, but maybe something else for the historical part would be good. If anyone need me, I'm at MySpace. At my MySpace page or ICQ. I still know my ICQ number. Wow, I don't. I'd have to look that up. I know I had a 6-digit number, so I had a really low number, but like 200,000 something. But yeah. I would be remiss if I did not ask if there will be a tool section on a new forum. For sure, we could do that. Why the headphones? Because I'm listening to the music. I'm hearing the same music you guys are, and I like having that in the background. So, and if I do that with speakers, well, there's this giant microphone here. That's an issue. 5-digit, and I lost it. Oh, damn. Okay. Peter Stimple says, good evening. Hello there. Heffa Lompen, I'm 36 years old now. I've been at EFNet since I was 12 years old. IRC is still going. Not talking, though. I'm on LiberaChat now. Okay. Libera. Okay. I found those colors helpful. Well, I think a lot of, especially people starting out, do. So, if at all possible, I'd like to keep them, but we're evaluating options. All the animated GIFs. Oh, God. Chat room display idea: 2 times 1.5 meter strips, 150 strips, 150 strips tall. Only the rich can afford that. Oh my god. Can we get spoilers on the new analog board? Any new cool features? You want to see a prototype? I'm not sure I should be showing this. Hold on. Oh, damn it. Ah, there's all kinds of stuff attached here. I think I have a prototype here. Maybe I don't. Maybe I do. Oh, here it is. Now, let me warn you, this is in no way its final form or anything like that. Let's see here. So this is some... Oh, this is... Okay, I was testing it with some RGB. So this white LED is RGB. And then there's a warm white and a cold white. So it's RGB CCT. On the same strip, this is a strip from Gree. And both the warm whites are CRI 95, or both the whites are CRI 95. And then the RGB is RGB. So, yeah. And it's a decent compromise. The RGB chips are a bit small, so there's not too much light coming off of them. But, yeah, you know, it's a compromise. So, currently, it looks like this. And there is all kinds of things wrong with it. But the basic idea is that we have the input terminals here. Then we're going to have 2 fuses here. Because, well, my current analog boards don't have fuses, but I'd like them to have them. Then we're going to have positive output terminals here. And for now I'm using these plug style terminals. But I don't know what I'll do in the future. We'll have to see. Then there is an ESP32 here, and this was still before I had my custom ESP32 boards. And, well, as you can probably tell, this is oriented the wrong way. So, even I make mistakes. Then there is a 5-prong connector here, and I really like that you can disconnect those, but you can still reach the screw terminals even while it's in there. And there was going to be some GPIO connectors over here. I had a temperature sensor, and there is an OLED screen. And, well, of course, this was supposed to be oriented the other way around. But I'm actually not going to be running an OLED on there because... Oh, I am going to be running an OLED on there. But this one is I2C. But I'm moving over to SPI because I2C in ESP Home seems to be a software function and not hardware accelerated. And basically an issue popped up that when you're doing dimming, the PWM is handled by hardware in the ESP32. So that's not affected. But any transitions you do are affected because the transitions are calculated in software, but the software is also doing I2C to update the screen in real time, and that basically caused for very choppy transitions. So, yeah. Let's see what people are saying. Reactions to the board, and I mean it could still completely change. So. But the idea is to have a double fuse RGB CCT support, so 5 channels instead of 4 for the quad, for instance. Have some fuses on there, but still have the ability to run 5 white channels, for instance, if you wanted to, but a high power output. DIY and pre-assembled, I'm looking into. And since I'm using this form factor ESP32, I'd like to make it possible to use the board antenna, the external antenna, and also the Ethernet. I've taken into account when creating the Ethernet board and that ecosystem that I was going to do this board at some point. But yeah, in its current form, it really isn't great. It works. Basic functions work. I guess you could show the basic function. Do you guys want to see me turn it on? I'll be giving my super secret OLED project away, but I'll do it. If you guys want me to do it, let me know in chat. I'll do it. How many people are here? 60 people are here. Okay. Ah, 5 gigahertz. Yeah, I wish there was an ESP controller that did 5 gigahertz. That'd be awesome. Do it! Yes! Do it! Do it! Turn it on! Awesome! Okay, this has been lying in a drawer for the past few months. So I don't even know if it works right now. But let me find a 24 volt supply. Hold on. OLED! Yes! Go for it! Oh, please! Oh my god! What have I done? Maybe it'll explode. Well, there's fuses on there. I guess that's good. Do I have one with cables? No, this is 12 volts. This is 5 volts. What is this? 24 volt, 5 amps. Let's use that. Okay. Okay, so I have a power supply. It's an old one, but should do fine. Now, the downside of having these type of plugs is that I now have to find the other half of those plugs. I honestly don't know where they are. Let me try and find them. Nope. I'll put them in here. Nope. Wow, I really wonder where I have those. Okay, hold on. Right, could be in here. Nope. Nope. Oh, I might know where they are. Give me a minute here. Sorry about that. Yes. Found them. See, I do organize stuff sometimes because I put them in a nice little organization box. See that? So we'll need this and this. Let's see if those are the right ones. Yeah, that looks right. Okay. Okay. Good. Oh no. Okay, and well, earlier we started preparing. Can't hear you. I'm here. I have returned. We started preparing this little cable. Let me zoom out that camera a little bit. No, that's zoomed in. Okay. So let's finish doing that cable because, well, we need a power cable. If you do not have an automatic wire stripper, you're depriving yourself of life. No. But I do really recommend it. Cavemen, yes. Exactly. More power, 24 volt, 5 amps. That's like 120 watts. That will be fine for this little LED strip. Okay, then one of the terminals was plus and one of was minus. But in my infinite wisdom of not having finished this board, that is actually not written on the board. But I believe I know which one is what. Screwdriver time. Cannot wait for customs to get overloaded with 10 euro packages, as the German was. Yeah, I don't really like the situation with all the import tax going on. I mean, if they did it fairly, it'd be fine. I wouldn't really mind it, because I don't mind paying tax. It's just, I don't mind paying the $1 to $2 tax on most stuff I would buy. I mind paying the 15 to 18 euros of administration fee they're going to charge me for paying it, for doing that. That's what I'm going to mind. But, yeah, we'll see. Nope. No, WLED is not a library in the Arduino IDE. It's an Arduino project itself. I don't mind paying taxes. I get a lot of back for taxes too. Or supposed to work like that. So let's hope this is how we should power it up. Because I think I put reverse polarity protection on there, maybe? No, I didn't. We'll see. Okay, let's wire this up. Can my screwdriver fit? Oh. Come on. There we go. Plus. And minus. It's not ideal, but it'll work. It'll work. So as I said, I haven't turned this prototype on in months. So I'll have to look up the IP it gets and blah blah blah. I don't use MDNS. Okay, let's see. Minus and plus, red. Yeah, plus. Okay, converter, fuses. This one is in. These wires are in-ish. They're sticking out a lot. I mean, I didn't even put ferrules on there. Oh no. Things are falling down. Okay, so I guess I should get it off the spool a little bit so we can show it. I think these will get hot, so let's unspool it. Yeah, well, Aliexpress has already been opening a lot of local shops, and I hope they'll have the prepayment system. We're looking into that too, if AllNet. And otherwise, we'll also find a different solution. But yeah, let's hope it's not going to suck for a while. We're going to see. Okay. It is very well possible this will explode upon turning it on. Oh, and I need to turn the board around because otherwise the OLED won't make sense. Right, I don't know, let's do it like this. Let's see. I don't think anything's touching. I'm actually a bit afraid to plug in power. I don't know in what state I left this board. I often use things to test stuff, so... Okay, let's put the Coke away. I have a fire extinguisher over there. Oh, what the hell, let's go. Hey, that actually looks like WLED orange. Was I toying with WLED on here? Actually might have been. Let me check my phone. I think I actually was toying with WLED on here. Let me check my router if it asked for an IP. Oh, sure enough it did. I think, let me check. Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So there's actually WLED on there. Yeah, I'll put it behind the chat. So yeah, we can change colors. But then I can't show off my brilliant OLED feature. Damn. Well, I can flash ESP Home on there, but... Yeah, so this is WLED with an analog LED strip. And you can do effects. It's just gonna produce a lot of blinking because it's basically a single LED. Ah, now it's using multiple of the LEDs. So it's also using the white LED, as you can see here. But I think putting ESP Home on there would be cooler. Yeah, okay, OLED, okay. I think I had it linked to my test Home Assistant. Let me see. Test AN Penta, okay. Oh, I guess I just gave away the name. Oh no. Let me see if I can generate a binary. Yeah, so since I have the QuinLED-Dig line of boards, and the analog don't have anything behind it, I'm thinking of calling the analog line AN, so QuinLED hyphen or minus AN, and this one would probably be called Penta, but not sure yet. So let me flash that on there. Let me turn this off. Go off. Okay. And I need to remember how it was inserted because I made some mistakes there. Okay. I think I'll remember that. Yeah. Oh no, I can't use my USB-C cable. No, WLED with analog LEDs, it's nice, it works, it's fine. But since it's a single LED you're emulating, basically, the usability is very limited. However, if you're using a QuinLED-Deca, for instance, you could simulate up to 3 pixels because you have 10 channels. Each pixel would need RGB. So you have 3 times 3 times 3 is 9 channels that you need in total. So that actually works. But it's very limited in what you would be able to do with it, basically. Let me go back to the face. So I'm just doing some ESP Home Flasher. I just downloaded the binary flash. I'm not going to share how this all works, but I'm going to show it off. Because I put some days of works in it before, and it kind of looked cool, but yeah. Yeah, okay, sure. In my case, I wanted to be controlled by Home Assistant anyway, so let's see here. DNS. I need to see if it's going to work in regards to wireless. It's really quite weird putting it in backwards, because I made an error with the new footprint I was using and it's in backwards now. Okay, let's start that up. Hope it doesn't explode. Okay. Oh, the OLED's already doing something. Let me try and focus that for you. Okay, it's gonna zoom out a little bit. And now let's see if I can find the integration and see if that connects. I don't think it will. No. I will need to adjust some DNS for that. Right, and how do I now get Home Assistant to retry the DNS? Let me try and add it again. Oh, I guess I could show you that part. ESP Home. Not sure this is going to work regarding to IP numbers. Oh god, the password, I have no clue. Okay, I need to hide my screen again. Hold on. That's what I get for not preparing streams, huh? Well, it's on my test server, so the password shouldn't be important, but we'll see what's in there. Okay. Yeah, it's a bogus password. But anyway, let's add it. Sure. Okay. I'll pay attention to chat in a minute. Hold on. So now there should be an IP number in here, I guess. There is not. Does it do it by name? Oh, I have 2 test AN pentas now. Okay, this is online, but this doesn't have any... Oh, there we go. Yeah, oh, okay, yeah, that works. Red. Okay, so you'll probably want this view. So with the OLED screen, you see L1, L2, L3, L4, L5. And if I then open Home Assistant and use the sliding bar and change with the brightness, and I can do all channels, of course, or turn them off. Well, turning off doesn't work yet because there's a bug in ESP Home, but I'll talk about that with those guys once this is getting ready. Yeah, so this is a white channel. So basically, this would be a little status display for a analog LED dimmer board. Oh, it also displays my wireless network. Fine, that's nice, and the MAC address and. And so, yeah, you control all the channels individually or as RGB or whatever you would want to do it. Of course, those bars make more sense if you control it like separate white channels. For instance, this would be a channel going to your kitchen or multiple channels in your kitchen and living room or stuff like that. But then you could see at a glance, well, that it's online basically because it knows its own name. It gets the time from Home Assistant. And every minute I think I programmed, it'll show a little overview showing its IP address and MAC address and stuff like that too. So if you have multiple of these on a wall, you can easily differentiate which one is what, for instance. Yeah, so it shows the IP address, it shows the board temperature from the onboard temperature sensor, the wireless network it's connected to. Yeah, so I programmed, I spent a few days on that, hacking around in ESP Home to make it do nice stuff. Because I really like those little bars moving. I mean, that's awesome. It's the most stupid feature to have, but I can enjoy the most stupid features I can think of to just have nice graphs. Because, you know, nice graphs. And you can even see that it auto-calculates the values between switching between brightness levels and stuff like that. So it'll do this smoother than going like this or like that. But yeah, there's still some really big issues in this board. Like the ESP is reversed and there's some other stuff. The OLED screen was also supposed to be reversed so that it fit nicely like in this square. And there's some other stuff I need to work out, but yeah. So I guess this is the first preview of what a new analog board would kind of look like. And as I said, I'm not guaranteeing it'll look like this in the end. But these are the features I'm working on, and like I mentioned, I'd like to have those available in, as I call it, advanced DIY, because I want to incorporate certain features and stuff that I won't be able to do otherwise. So there will be surface mount and stuff like that. But I'm also looking into having this one available pre-assembled, so that we'll finally have an analog controller which has 5 channels, so RGB plus CCT. So if you look here, you can see that you have the RGB LED, which is currently red, and I can turn it off. Let me see. So let's see, is this the green channel, I think? Yeah, so we have the green channel, and then we can also make it blue if we want to. So this is the easy strip to test with that, because it has all the colors. And as you can see, it's doing a very high PWM rate, because the screen is clearly showing PWM effects, but the LED strip itself isn't, even on low settings. But that basically continues already what I built for my other analog controllers, of course. Let's see what the chat is saying, because I wasn't paying attention. OLED, OLED, OLED. Gotta run, have fun, Quinn and others. Oh, you missed a new controller. Frank was still here, cool. They could use the postal service, collect that. Would much more convenient. Yeah, DHL really rips you off if you have to pay tax. I've had to pay like 40 cents of tax and then 18 euros of processing administration fees. Stupid. I have a question from Mr. Double-Sided Tape. Does the red double-sided tape conduct enough heat versus the original sticky tape on the LED strip? Because I accidentally ripped off the blue one. Well, you can buy the blue one too. It's really cheap. But yes, in my experience, the red one still lets enough heat through, but also stays sticky at like 100 degrees if it ever came to that. So yes, the red stuff is really nice. Even for analog, I think WLED makes sense as there's still some effects working with just one LED, Andy says. Yeah, sure. I agree on the white control, there's room for improvement. Yeah, so in my Home Assistant configuration right now, I'm just using the 5 channels to change all the values independently. But especially since when the new version hit that Frank was talking about, this would actually make a very nice board for that, probably. Andy may know soon about DHL costs. Yeah, they really suck you dry when they can. So, yeah. Well, hope you guys liked the little sneak preview here. As I said, it could still change a lot. And maybe there will even be different DIY and pre-assembled versions. For instance, I'm using one of those plug-in DC-DC converters. And while that's good to use for DIY, if I can build one myself for pre-assembled, it's probably cheaper to do that than actually buy this module. But, yeah. And, well, as is normally the case, we do the sneak previews at the end. We've been going for almost 2 hours, so let's give it until the 11 o'clock... I can't even talk anymore. 11 o'clock mark, so that's 2 minutes, and then we'll end the stream. See if any people are actually here. Oh, 94 people, 95 people. What? More people joined when we were doing sneak previews? Oh, no. Oh, Tech Turtle's got to go. Okay, bye-bye. Oh, and Street Wiz Tech does too. Bye. So, any last fire questions? You have 2 minutes. Clicking the like button is always good. If you like what this would become, so 5 channels, OLED, GPIO ports for buttons and stuff like that. I actually designed a special what do you call that? Anti-ringing, anti-phantom button press. I've designed a little circuit which should help in phantom button presses basically, or preventing those. It should be able to take in lots of power with these terminals here. And then you have 4 plus terminals here instead of the 2 currently on the quad. Especially if you're going to run analog LED strip and white LED strip, that might come in handy. I am thinking of keeping this separation so you have the minus channels over here. And then you have the plus channels over here. Generally with wiring, I don't think that's really an issue. And it'll become medium sized basically, although it might grow as big as the Deca, but it'll offer different features basically. So, yeah. But very much work in progress. Any thoughts on using barrel screw connectors with ring connectors? The wire would never come out. Oh, yeah, like most power supplies have. I have thought about that. But then most people don't use crimping connectors like fork or ring connectors. So if I could stay with good size screw terminals like this, because this is AWG16 still, I'd probably stick with that. Because I have experimented with those. I mean, there's a giant bag here which has HB 9500 connectors in there. Oh, this one isn't even open yet. I have another one that's open, but these are basically the connectors you're talking about. So with a little flap and... oh, I experimented with those on my QuinLED-Dig-Uno Plus. That had those connectors. But if I could keep it with decent screw terminals where you can fit in the right kind of wires, I think I'll stick with that. So, because some people will use it with like simple tiny LED wires like this, and then those other terminals wouldn't really be suited for it. They'll also take up a lot more space, and yeah. Well, thanks for the company, Johnny Bergdahl says. Lab is not 100, is now, I think you mean now, 100% organized and cleaned up. Excellent. If you mean now. I hope you mean now. Yeah, well, sorry, I was distracted. Now, yes, good. Well, I hope, I'm very happy I helped you clean up. I still need to do so myself if we look at my background, but that's why we have very nice lenses, so all the background is blurred. Johnny is now Guy with the Dutch accent, but he was Swedish. What? Okay. Guys, I'm calling it. I hope you guys liked hanging around, and if so, I'll check the likes. And I'll check the feedback after the stream, because I tried to do a Quinboxed when I don't have any other content compared. This week I was working a lot on designs and other stuff, so I really didn't have the time and work and stuff like that. So if you guys like these hanging out streams and whatever random subject we stumble upon to, I'll do them more often. And with that, I want to thank you for watching. I always really appreciate you for being here. To the guys who donated, you're all guys. Thank you so very much. That really helps. I mean, yeah, it just does. And I'll see you guys later in the next video on the Discord server or wherever else. Bye-bye.